Real quick, I just got finished testing a bunch of the amps for those guys. Okay, so Steven is selling a lot of stuff open box on eBay, and that's where you can probably get the best deal on this stuff, unless you want to buy it by the pallet. If you want to buy it by the pallet, I think it's only like $1,000 shipped. If you want to buy a whole pallet of just like mystery, you know, something like that. This one, DS21516. On these, I'm learning the part numbers. Basically, it's 5/16 stud. They also have 3/8, quarter-inch, and some other ones. It's basically a distribution block. So, but these are returns that from Amazon. When stuff doesn't sell fast enough, they pull it and then they send it back. So I wanted to show you that. This is the same one, but it's monocolor. It's just very similar part number, and it comes with jumpers too, ring terminals and shit like that. But this one is just black. So, and then I wanted to show you the fuse block. So, and again, you can contact Recoil directly through the website, which is like email something at recoilaudio.com, or you can also contact them as a seller through eBay if you want like a deal or something like that. And dude, cut your own deal, you know, like here's a bunch of the stuff. So they want me to test all these 6x9s. I'm like, I don't know if I have time. The SWS is 10s. These are all returns. They do need to be tested. A bunch of capacitors. I'm going to see if I can get these. These were returns, and normally they give them to the Mexican guys that drive up here. Somebody used a ferrule, then got it stuck in there. You idiot! You shouldn't be using ferrules in the first place. And then it's just stuck in there. You can't get it out. The other one, this one got dropped. I don't know if it got dropped on the return. There it is. I don't know if it got dropped in the return or whatever it did. So, and then I often will take home stuff like this that's like it's open box, meaning there's no box to it. So, because sometimes it looks nicer if the box, these are the 500 amp, if it has the packaging and stuff like that. This is why I give you guys often a GLI, ground loop isolator, is because they have a ton of them as far as returns go, and a lot of them are out of the packaging, or they come like this in the Amazon return packaging, ready to ship. And then these they have no use for, which is the it's a GLI, but it has headphone. Again, why are you using headphone? I don't know. Why they make it, I don't know. Why you need a ground loop isolator on a headphone format, I don't know. But they're available. Let me show you what else we got. These distribution blocks are popular with UTVs, marine, things like that. This is some of the premium stuff that usually goes on UTVs. A whole bunch of the 5 1/4 coaxial component. I organized all these. 6.5 inch coaxial, 6.5 inch component, a lot of those. And then a little bit of the 4-inch coaxials. So they don't have a 4-inch component yet. They probably will. And then these are all the REA 600.4s. I already tested all the RED 600.1s, 1200.1s. Most of them are good except for these two, and I think one of the RED 600.1. It looked brand new, but somebody I think hooked it up backwards and now it's fried. So let me see. These are the 2 farad capacitors. 1 farad capacitors with digital display. A lot of the underseat subwoofers. These are the SL1708s, which is the 8-inch. And these are the 8x9s. Mo in Texas, Mo the engineer, was looking for the 10-inch ones, but this is actually the 10-inch one, but this is Boss's version. And then I think they get them made by the same company that makes for Boss. Again, this is actually a really good product. It just says Boss on it, which sucks, because then the customer's like, "This is Boss," and, you know, you take that off and you put some cottage brand like Ascendant Audio or something like that, and then all of a sudden it's Magic or RE Audio or whatever. It's all the same shit for the most part. There's a whole bunch of these marine RCAs. Not that they're any more magical or waterproof. No. Just so you guys know, the marine equipment, all it is they put like extra little gaskets and stuff on it to make it look like it's splash proof or waterproof. It's never never waterproof. It might be splash resistant, right? But it's like, say I pulled this from inventory. This is the rubber surround polycone. Great splash proof. Not, you cannot submerge this and then and expect it to work well. It's not going to work like that. But like if water splashes on it or you shoot a load on it, whatever, it's going to just wipe off or dry. It's going to be fine. It's not a big deal. So that's what marine stuff is and UTV stuff is. It's never, 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 never waterproof. Okay. So, but you can look up a lot of these part numbers on the website. These are really cool. It's the Q LOC plus D, meaning it's a LOC plus line driver. So a lot of people really like that. But at that point, you might as well just use speaker level input, but whatever. And then there's a ton of this stuff that is a lot of times returns. I think I've showed you guys these before. This is all the terminals, speaker grills, things like that. If you don't like the price that you see on the website or on Amazon, contact them through eBay and it's like set yourself up your own deal. Or you're like, hey, I want to be a dealer, but I can't afford the whatever it is. I think it's $1,000 or $1,500 minimum. Then say, hey, I want to get started with $400. What can you give me for $400? And then that's where it's your job to have priorities. You're like, well, mostly I want to do coaxials, mostly I want to do amps, or mostly I want to do whatever. And you can kind of carve out your own deal. Now, if you just say, give me whatever, then you're going to get whatever. And I don't recommend that. Sometimes I can show you guys cool stuff that a lot of this stuff down this is like the junk drawer aisle. It's just stuff that they don't want to throw away because it's valuable, but it's just hard to sell. All the ceiling speakers, yeah. If you guys want to do your own home theater installation, these are really great because nobody looks at the brand. And so you can actually get these probably cheaper than like Boss or something like that. And they sound great, and start installing speakers for rich people and make a lot of money. That's another way to go. But these are the ceiling speakers. They have them in 8-inch and 6.5-inch. And there's a shit ton. RC65, RC65. Yeah, these are all the 6.5s. Some old Larry F's stuff. I pulled this out today. I was going to yank it out because it's just a generic. I was going to steal the woofer, but I don't even have a screwdriver here, so I got to bring in tools for these guys. So Larry F had a lot of those tools that he brought with him. Porta-spit. It's a portable spit. These are all the linear actuators. These used to be at my house. We organized them, and then we brought them back, and they threw them in a pile. These are the SWS 12s. Those are the returns. They got to put a 8-gauge wire kit in those. I don't want to sit there and compete with stupid Eric that runs the website. I will always beat Eric's prices by 10%. That's how that goes. Because Eric watches my videos, little turkey, and then he undercuts me, fucker. So, but I need some wire kits today. 6x9s, 1708s, R6P. And this is all Edge's stuff. Edge is the parent company, SL1799. And so when I pull from this aisle, I gotta email them and say, hey, put this on my tab. Speaker grills. I'm looking for RCK4. PCK. Those are all the premium ones, the copper ones. This is what I'm looking for. RCK84, which is the 4 channel. It just comes with extra RCAs. RCK8, RC4. This is actually a really good deal. It's a 4 gauge, but it's for 6 channel. Sorry, 6 channel RCAs. It's kind of a good deal. Sometimes if you're going to buy a 4 gauge kit, what you want to do is buy this one, and you end up getting the RCAs for free, and then you can use them later, sell them for 10 or 20 bucks each if somebody just needs RCAs. Again, little things like that. That's what I've always done. And also the leftovers, like, because you're not always going to use the whole kit when you do an install. Save the scraps, not to sell to the scrapyard, because they're not going to give you shit for them, but they're just good little wires to hang around. And then especially when somebody comes in and they they're, you know, like they're a little on the edge, like they don't have a lot of money, but again, it's not to make yourself look good. It's to sort of make them feel better. Is what you do is you throw in freebie stuff. So sometimes, well, like on a bigger deal, like on a $200 or $300 deal, which is big for me, what I'll do is I'll throw in the wire kit. So am I really charging them? Yes, because it's coming out of the profit, but I just don't charge them, you know, whatever in on the, as far as the numbers. They don't really feel like they're getting charged for it, even though they are. It just comes out of my end, which is not a big deal. Because again, I get these really cheap. You get them really cheap. I get them cheaper than you do. There's my RCK Force. I got to pull some of those out for today. Oh, and that's the other thing that I do is Larry had another company. It's getting wrapped under his new company, Lucky Star. He had a brand called Hooker that used to be owned by the ProBox guys. And I think I showed you, yeah, I put these in a video. This is some of the Hooker stuff. Yeah, see, these guys. Again, nobody's really talked to me about these things. Feel free to talk to me. This is one of the things, a lot of this stuff looks like Recoil product because this was the prototype. The brand was called Hooker because they were sitting in Vegas and they're like, you know, you can really call an audio brand whatever you want. And there's a lot of hookers in Vegas if you don't know. And so they go, why don't we just call it Hooker Audio? And because, you know, people like hookers. And it didn't do great. It did okay. But at the time, some of the pricing was off a little bit. This was like in 05, 06. And I didn't get the leftovers until like probably 2014, 15, I think, something like that. I don't know, maybe my dates are off, but the TS ones, see, Larry was yelling at me. He's like, I got to bill you for those. And I'm like, well, bill them for me. Like, whatever. Like, you shouldn't charge me more than you're charging for Recoil, but whatever. Because this is old inventory and he's probably already taken it off as a loss or whatever. But these ones are great because they have the metal ends. And I took them to my buddy Barry over there at the paintball place. And he's just going to use them for the ends. He's going to re-terminate them. So what you do is, this is 16 foot, so he's just going to cut it down to what he needs, and then you remove the ends from one side and re-terminate them on the other. These are really great. They're Mylar shielded, twisted pair, oxygen free. It's all the top premium stuff that you see on the premium series for Recoil now, but it's just under the Hooker brand. So we have those 16 foot, a whole bunch of RCAs and some other stuff. I think that we still have... Anyways, back to what I was talking about was they had AGU fuse holders, which not really anybody uses anymore. And so I took like 3 cases of those. And what I did was I got a bunch of 10 gauge Recoil kits from Larry on the cheap because those don't sell. But the factory was like, you sell them. And Larry's like, I can't sell these. And I said, well, I can sell them. I can include them in all kinds of deals because I do these, like, you know, 300 watt deals. And so the cool thing about the 10 gauge kits is I had to bring some of these back for Larry because somebody who wants to buy the wire doesn't have fuse holders. Mini A&L fuse holder, 4 gauge, has the little reducer in there so you can put 8 gauge in there. How many did I give them? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I'm supposed to bill them for them or whatever. They take them off my tab. But so the 10 gauge kits come with those included, but they're overkill for 10 gauge wire. And so what I did was I had somebody go through all the kits and swap the fuse holders. And then I included like a 30 amp AGU fuse holder and a fuse because I pair them up with those dual amps, which are only fused for 30 amps. And so then what I end up getting is an excess of those mini A&L fuse holders. Again, they take up to 4 gauge, and that can be aluminum or copper, and they get fused up to 150 amps. So they're quite valuable to me, but you have to process them in order to get that value out. You guys can do the same things. So if you find a deal like that where they include, like what I'm going to do right now is buy a bunch of the 4 gauge kits, and then what I do is I take the fuse holders out of them because I actually like them better than that one that I showed you, the ones that link together. I really don't kind of like that one. I like the ones that come with the kits. And so what I'll do is I'll pull all those fuse holders out and then substitute in the mini A&L fuse holders with, and then I'll give you like a variety, hold on, a variety of like fuses and stuff like that. So just to kind of make up for the quote unquote loss, for the purpose that you're using it for, you really, on a 4-gauge aluminum kit, you don't need full-size A&L. And so that's why mini A&L is just fine. But again, Larry always wants to put more value in the kits. And I'm just selling these locally. So, and then I include them in other stuff. And so nobody really gives a shit or cares or knows that I've done the swap. So again, doesn't affect them. And plus I give them the kit below market value anyway. So it's fine. But those are the things that I did and do to sort of make things more profitable, I guess I would say. And then, oh, this we had just brought in a whole pallet of the RED 1200.1s, which they're selling on the website and I think on Amazon for 125. I sell them for 120, and then I also do the 4-gauge wire kit for 140 shipped. And so I only have about 4 left. I'm glad I grabbed the case when I did, because otherwise they're all sold. They come in, they go out. This is the new DI600 version 2. I don't know if it's any different, but it's the version 2. And I wanted to reiterate on the DI series. Again, they're made by some other vendor. They're not made by Edge. They just outsource it and make sure the artwork is good and all that kind of stuff. But the DI series actually has high-level input based into the RCA. So what you want to do is get a pair of RCAs. You cut them. Whenever you buy these from me, I'll give you the RCA if you need to, because I have a shit ton of them. You just cut it, and then you put the speaker wire on those. The other thing I include when I sell the DI series is the 4-gauge fork terminals, which are handy. So that way you're not doing the old camel toe wire and sticking it in there. So, but I got to get these. I got to get to work, and I love you guys. I will talk to you later.